Good afternoon, I'm Charmaine Colvin and here is your news update on Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM. On India this week, Fauja Singh, regarded as the oldest Indian person and the first centenarian to complete a full marathon, has died at the age of 114 after he was struck by a vehicle near his village in Punjab. Singh, who claimed to be born in 1911, completed the Toronto Waterfront Marathon in 2011 when he was 100. He had registered his best time in a full marathon at the same event in 2003, finishing the race in 5 hours and 40 minutes. He was not included in the Guinness Book of World Records due to the lack of a birth certificate, as birth records were not kept in India in 1911. Police have arrested a man in connection with Fauja Singh's death. According to police, Amritpal Singh Dillon was driving a speeding SUV when he struck the 114-year-old Indian runner. The hit and run occurred near Fauja Singh's birthplace of Bispind, close to Jalandhar city. According to Indian media reports citing the police complaint, the runner's life might have been saved had the 26-year-old driver immediately taken Singh to hospital. Singh carried the Olympic torch at the 2012 Olympics and had a letter from the Queen congratulating him on his 100th birthday. Although the preliminary report into what caused the loss of Air India Flight 171 last month has provided some answers, it has also prompted a wave of speculation about its cause. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner crashed into a building less than a minute after takeoff from the city of Ahmedabad in western India en route to London, killing 241 people on board, along with 19 on the ground. Only one passenger survived. The 15-page preliminary document was issued last weekend by India's Air Accident Investigation Bureau, but does not set out any conclusions as to the cause of the accident. In its account of the accident flight, the AAIB states that 2 fuel cut-off switches were moved from the run to the cut-off position seconds after takeoff. This deprived the engines of fuel and caused them to lose thrust. Although data from the flight recorder shows the engines were subsequently restarted, it was too late to prevent the crash. Some commentators have claimed that the accident was the result of deliberate and intentional action by one of the pilots, a view that invoked an angry response from the Indian Commercial Pilots Association, who say the allegations are deeply insensitive to the individuals and families involved. International protocols stipulate that a final report should be published within a year of the accident. However, in practice, experts say it can take a lot longer than that. This week, Tesla has launched its Model Y in India at around $70,000, a significant markup relative to its other major markets, reflecting the country's high tariffs on electric vehicle imports, which CEO Elon Musk has long criticised. With deliveries estimated to start from the third quarter, the US automaker is targeting a niche electric vehicle segment in India that accounts for just 4% of overall sales in the world's third largest car market. It will compete mainly with German luxury giants such as BMW, Mercedes-Benz and South Korea's Kia, rather than domestic mass-market EV players such as Tata Motors and Mahindra. Tesla opened its first showroom in Mumbai on Tuesday and began taking Model Y orders on its website, marking its long-awaited entry into the Indian market. Currently, Tesla will import cars into India, where tariffs and related duties can exceed 100%, driving up the price for consumers. The US EV maker has long lobbied India for lower import tariffs on cars, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi's officials remain in talks with US President Donald Trump's administration to lower the levies under a bilateral trade deal. Astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla, who created history by becoming the first Indian ever to set foot on the International Space Station, has returned to Earth. A live broadcast showed the Axiom 4 mission, which undocked from the orbiting laboratory with its 4-member crew on Monday, splashing down off the coast of San Diego, California. Led by former NASA veteran Peggy Whitson and piloted by Group Captain Shukla, AX-4 had arrived at ISS on the 26th of June. Shukla is only the second Indian to have gone to space. His trip came 41 years after cosmonaut Rakesh Sharma flew aboard a Russian Soyuz in 1984. AX-4, a commercial flight operated by Houston-based private firm Axiom Space, was a collaboration between NASA, India's space agency, ESA, and SpaceX. Referring to India's first man in space, Rakesh Sharma, who famously quoted from a 1924 Urdu song that India looked better than the rest of the world, Captain Shukla said that from space, India still looked better than the rest of the world. A rare oil portrait of Indian independence leader Mahatma Gandhi has been sold at auction in London for £152,800. The figure is much higher than the auction house Bonhams had estimated. It was painted in 1931 by British artist Claire Leighton when Gandhi visited London. Bonham said the painting is thought to be the only oil portrait Gandhi sat for. The portrait was made when Gandhi went to London in 1931 for the Second Round Table Conference, held to discuss constitutional reforms for India and address its demand for self-governance. And finally, Britain's King Charles commiserated with India's crestfallen cricket stars on Tuesday in the aftermath of their painful defeat against England at Lord's. Charles consoled members of the Indian team when he hosted them at Clarence House, less than 24 hours after the third test ended in agonising loss for the tourists. India, chasing 193 to win, were beaten by 22 runs in the final session of the last day. India trailed 2-1 in the 5-match series, with the fourth test scheduled for Old Trafford next week before the finale at the Oval in London. So that's all from me. You have been listening to India This Week on Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM.